Alexander Isak. Newcastle United have signed the Swedish forward for £63 million, including add-ons. €70 million, including add-ons. This is what we like to call a statement signing. But first, before we get into it, a word from our sponsor. Take it away, Zeno. Thank you, Zeno. Now, let me tell you about JJ Diamond Designs. The brand is about staying true to yourself. In history, fashion has gone through many trends, but one trend that should never fade is authenticity, being yourself. It is crucial for us to embrace our uniqueness as people, because that's what makes us diverse, and that's what makes us special, flaws and all. Currently, JJ Diamond Designs sell white and black t-shirts with a logo, a simple item that is willing to take a backseat and complement the uniqueness of you. To get a shirt, make sure to check out the link in the description. JJ Diamond Designs, where diversity is the trend. Back to you, Zeno. Thank you, Zeno. Now let's get right back into the thick of it. One of the first things that people thought when Alexander Isak was permanently linked with Newcastle United and this move looked to be seriously happening was, this guy scored just 6 goals last season in La Liga. How was he going for this kind of money? Well, if we take our minds back to last season, and if Newcastle made this move last season, there'll be a completely different narrative behind it. Last season, Alexander Isak scored 17 goals in 34 appearances in La Liga and was voted the La Liga Young Player of the Season. Surely then that would have justified the 60 million plus price tag, right? But as we know, football can be a fickle sport, and he kind of lost form last season and he found it hard to score goals, basically. You know, before that point, he kind of reached double figures in all comps in every season for Sociedad since he joined. And, you know, unfortunately, he had his first real tough season probably since he joined. And funnily enough, I was watching the La Liga game between Sociedad and Barcelona, and one of the commentators was saying if big clubs in Europe are looking to sign him, they're going to be less interested now because of the fact that Isak kind of, slowed down a bit with his goal output. And in order for teams in Europe to be interested in him, big teams in Europe to be interested in him, he would have to just get back within the goals. Interesting that he's joined Newcastle. Obviously, that's not a big European team. But this price tag and the money that Newcastle paid for him, it's not about how good he is right now. Albeit, if you do get Isak from the season before last, that's probably worthy of the price tag for a club in Newcastle's position. They're paying for potential. That's what they're doing here. Newcastle United are paying for the potential. They're paying for the potential ability of Alexander Isak, who's being compared to Zlatan Ibrahimovic, But I think that's because they're both tall and Swedish. And strikers, but honestly, he's regarded as a huge talent. He joined Borussia Dortmund at a really young age in his teen years, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to make a mark. But he went on loan to Willem II, scored a lot of goals in just a handful of games. I think it was like something crazy, like 16 and 18 in all comps, or 14 and 16. I think 14 and 16 in the league, or 13 and 16. He scored a ton of goals in just a few amount of games, and he earned the move to Sociedad. He's been solid all the way, peaking last season. Not last season. I've been saying last season like I'm talking about last season, but what I mean by last season, I mean the season before last, where he scored 17 and 34. Last season he scored 6 and 32. So, if we took this 1 year, exactly 1 year, £60 million for Isak wouldn't have been looked at as like a crazy fee, because he was just voted the best young player in the damn league, in La Liga, which is regarded as the second best league in terms of quality after the Premier League. So to be a consistent player in that league, you gotta have some quality about you. And obviously, despite that 6-goal season, the potential still remains. So to many people, including myself, I was shocked by the price tag, and I was wondering, why are Newcastle paying this much? it's understandable because this kid has huge potential. Eddie Howe was talking about it in his press conference, before the Wolves game on Sunday, where they're hoping to have him available. He said he pretty much has the whole package. He has the physical presence, he has the technical ability. He can be something really special. So to Newcastle, especially with their financial situation, they're looking at this as a risk they can afford to take, basically. And speaking of Newcastle, obviously they signed Chris Wood last season to provide reasonable backup for Callum Wilson, but that was probably a move made in urgency. They needed a striker with experience, Premier League experience, and Wood fitted the bill. They paid the release clause of 25 million. He joined. He didn't do too well. He didn't press too tough. He wasn't amazing, but they were able to bring a player with Premier League pedigree in, and he did help somewhat for the end of season run-in. But now, as Callum Wilson continues to be injury prone, I believe he picked up another injury and he's out for the Wolves game and maybe a few other games as well. It was important that they had a better quality backup or better quality competition for that Callum Wilson striker position. And Isak definitely brings that, You could say that he might even start ahead of Wilson if he catches form quickly and Wilson recovers from injury. Someone like St. Maximin will definitely start to see his game improve by having a player like Isak around him. There's no doubt about that. And he's already one of the most exciting players in the league. Like, what a performance against City last weekend. But Newcastle should be very happy with this signing, and all the fans are excited by this signing because Newcastle have played it steady since, the Saudi Arabian the Saudi Arabian backed consultorium took over last season. They played it really safe. Bruno Guimaraes was their biggest signing up to this point, and he probably didn't cost more than Joe Linton, who was the current record signing, the striker turned midfielder. So honestly, it's probably a signing that confirms Newcastle State as a team on the up and a team chasing the top of football, because they've played it nice and steady, signing players like Matt Target, Dan Burn. Sven Botman was a shiny signing. Trippier, that's another smart signing. So they've been making really clever signings that are not too flashy, but signings that are going to strengthen and improve the quality of the squad. And as a result of that, they've been able to consolidate themselves as a Premier League team and start to gain upwards positive momentum up the table. And that's just been properly shown in their last game. An amazing 3-3 draw against Manchester City where they could have easily have won that game. They were 3-1 up. But, as we know, City love to make little comebacks, little comebacks here and there. And they were able to turn the game around. But all in all, they're a team on the up, and this signing is a big statement to Europe saying, we're ready to keep climbing. We're ready to strengthen the squad and take the squad to the next level. Isak is a signing that isn't like an established player in world football, like people were dreaming of Mbappe and talking of these kind of players. But in reality, a signing like Isak makes a lot more sense because that's a player that can grow with the club. As the club gets better, he can get better. And it just makes perfect sense. The price tag might seem a bit mad, but the kid's already shown that he can be a high-level player and a player that can lead a team to potential success. So all in all, this is a fantastic signing if you look past the price tag and how he fits with the team stylistically, and also how he fits with Newcastle's future projection. It's a signing that excites the fans and definitely excites all the people around the club, for sure. But yeah, I think that's going to be all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Obviously, Dookie wasn't here today. In fact, there was meant to be a different episode that was up today with the video, painfully enough. But some post-production issues occurred, and that video is no longer suitable to be released to the world. So as a result of that, we now have this episode available. And I had to record something, and obviously Dookie wasn't available, but hopefully he might be back in the next one. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode of Zeno's Mini Football Logic.
Mini Logic.